All right, first and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to all the fellow laborers out there continuing to endure in this work. Now, I want to just get into a quick lesson, which was pretty much inspired by a video I watched the brothers over in Atlanta. They had a guy to roll up on the camp, and his whole thing was he wanted to meet the elders, all right? You know, he didn't feel like the men that was out at the moment was worthy enough to teach him. He felt like he wanted to jump to the top of the totem pole, so to speak. He wanted to just skip past the brothers and go right to the top, which is in essence Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai is the head of this whole ministry. But you know, the Spirit got on me to do a video concerning that whole topic because you actually have men to come into the truth, and they don't want to take the necessary steps it takes to become firmly and deeply rooted in the truth. They just want to come in and skip the dirty work, so to speak, which is, you know, plowing and studying. You know? And there's a certain protocol that comes along with this, man. First and foremost, that old man have to die, all right? Your old man, he has to die. And once that happens, you're born again. And once you're born again, like all newborn babes, you have to be nursed by your mother's milk. That's the steps you got to take. And that's important because if you have a babe that hasn't properly been nourished with milk, then his bones will not be strong enough to stand on his own. And for all you guys who have come into this truth and you skip the necessary steps, which is, you know, digesting or desiring that sincere milk, then in that evil day, when all these calamities and perils befall the planet, then you're going to wobble and fall. You're not going to be able to stand in that day, you know? So it's necessary for you to digest this milk. The scripture tells you to desire the sincere milk. And that's got to be a desire, all right? When you come into this truth, your desire can't be to be the next super Israelite. You got to come in and desire to learn his knowledge, which is only going to benefit you, all right? Now, this is the book of Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? And that's a pretty heavy question, all right? That question should pique your interest. You know, you should want to know who the Heavenly Father is going to make to understand doctrine or teach knowledge. And it's going to tell you, it says, them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. And that's, you know, nothing majestic about that. That's normal reality, you know? There's nothing far-fetched about that. That's not a foreign concept to digest. When you consider certain things that's right around you, these tangible things, such as if you plant a seed, it's a process before that seed actually grows into a plant or a tree, right? Animals, you might have a dog that have a litter of pups. Well, guess what? Those pups can't stand on their own or venture out on their own, all right? At least they will be in danger. They have to nurse from their mother first, along with all sorts of animals, cats and kittens, and so on and so forth. And there's no difference with human beings and even spiritually. Spiritually, when you come into this truth, you must be weaned from the breast, man, which is wisdom, all right? Mother wisdom, because wisdom is a female noun, which wisdom is compared to a woman, all right? But it's a necessity for you to nurse, all right, or be nourished with this milk spiritually. Because you can come into the camp or you can come into this fold and get on a low-carb diet and work out and become all big and brolic. But if your spirit is weak and it hasn't been nourished, then you good as dead, man. And get another quick scripture real quick to show you the importance of digesting that milk, all right? Because with that, you'll be able to stand in that evil day that's approaching, man. All right, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, and I start at verse 44. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Now are they crowned and receive palms. All right? Then said I unto the angel, What young person is that crowned them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. Now the key phrase in this whole precept is stood so stiffly. And the only way you can stand stiffly is if you've been nurtured with that milk. So your spiritual bones will be able to stand. All right? Because if you have not, nourished off that milk, then guess what? You're going to wobble and fall. And you see that with babies, all right? A baby make that transition to a toddler, and then he can't just stand up on his own. He might take a couple steps and he wobble and fall. So how could a babe stand stiff? All right? Only the men who have been weaned from that milk is going to be able to stand stiff, because their spiritual bones is going to be able to withstand, all right? Withstand all the things that is, that impending danger that's on the horizon, all right? All the things that's coming to the planet Earth. Only the men who have took those necessary steps, came, through that right order, is going to be able to stand in that day. Why? Because they're going to be strong. Their feet are going to be made fast as pillars, all right? Now this is 2nd Ezra chapter 2 and verse 15. Mother, embrace thy children and bring them up with gladness. And that's talking about this wisdom. Make their feet as fast as a pillar, for I have chosen thee, saith the Lord. And a pillar is what holds you up, man, which is your legs. So again, if your pillars are not strong, that's because you have not, took the proper protocol in this truth, which is digest that milk so you would become strong enough to stand, and your pillars will be made fast, all right, which is strong, man. And you have men out there that basically want to skip skip that process. They don't want to study and go into the scriptures, and they don't desire the sincere milk, all right, which is not going to benefit them in the end, man, because you're not going to be able to stand strong in that day. All right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3. I think that's verse 12. Yeah. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out. Yeah, so it's, hey, you should desire that, man. Because if you're a pillar in the temple, that means that you're important. Because the pillar is what hold the temple up. All right, if the Lord make you a pillar, that means it won't be good for the Lord to get rid of you. If you got a building and this, you got pillars holding the building up, the main thing you're gonna keep in the building is the pillars, man. So it's important to come in and digest this milk so your feet can be fast as pillars. All right, you can become a pillar in the temple, which means you will never be cast out. Why? Because you are needed. You are a permanent fixture in the temple, man. And I will write upon him the name of my power and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, and I will write upon him my new name. So that's pretty much it, all right? Make thy feet as fast as pillars, all right? And the only way you can do that is by coming in the necessary order, man, which is humbling down, studying, and learning the scriptures. Having these scriptures, pretty much digesting these scriptures to the point where when all hell starts to, take place, you will be able to stand firm. You'll be able to stand like a pillar, man. Isaiah 33:6, all right? Knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of that time. How could you be stable? You can't be stable unless you're standing strong. If you're a baby is not stable, all right? A baby is going to wobble and fall at some point. So, till the next time, I say shalom.